Jeff Romero, good afternoon and welcome to the InstaVIP Podcast. Jeff, I see that you're a digital marketing professional with a lot of background and history managing local and enterprise SEO campaigns. You've enjoyed what looks like a successful career so far in large enterprise business, and love to hear more about that. And you're now proud co-founder of Octiv Digital.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. So yeah, my name is Jeff Romero. I've been in digital marketing for about 10 to 12 years now. Got my start in SEO, really working in local campaigns, looking at attorney sites, looking at real estate agent sites, kind of that smaller scale stuff, just trying to help people get started with web marketing. A lot of people that just didn't have an idea what they were doing. And then I sort of transitioned my career into the enterprise level and started working for a couple of different companies that work in the home goods sector, working in lighting, furniture, really anything in that kind of space, competing against folks like Wayfair, Home Depot, Lowe's, some of those much bigger companies. And that was a lot of fun, required a lot of advanced SEO strategy, a lot of just advanced digital marketing in general, just to try to get it right for the customers, get it right for Google. Kind of just had to deploy a lot of creative thinking there to get things right and to be able to compete with some of those bigger box companies.
Oh, very good, very good. So can you talk about anything that you've been doing, relative, with the SEO community, speaking at engagements or such?
Sure, yeah. So I've had the opportunity to speak at, I've spoken to SMX East and ETEL East, as well as smaller independent conferences for a company called Bloomreach. They are a big enterprise tool that a lot of companies use to improve their internal linking on a site. And they're a company that I implemented with at my last company, 3 different websites that we use them on. And I had the ability to really stand out from some of the different clients that they worked with. And they had me come out and speak at different conferences, talk about the technology. And with that, I really kind of figured out how to push the boundaries with it. It's really neat technology, but it was really cool to see it actually work and drive traffic and ultimately revenue from the company.
Very good. Interesting. So I guess now you're very quick on that. Thank you for that.
Sure. Yeah.
Jeff, right now, I guess as I described in our introduction, before we recorded, that we're really looking for some leading edge, thought-provoking SEO topics. So I'm going to encourage you to be creative and tell us all about what challenges you're finding, if they're new, or just tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that saw growth in 2019 is going to continue to grow in 2020 is the use of voice search. So this is something that everyone knows about. Everyone's trying to figure out how to tune into it, how to make things work. And there's not a lot of documentation work on what drives Amazon Alexa or Google Home or results in Google specifically. But one thing that is actually working that I've tested and I'm actually seeing some good results with is using structured data for voice search. And this is just making sure that you're marking up your content in ways that are easy for Google to understand. When Googlebot comes to the site, they see your content, they read through the content. You're using that kind of extra layer of metadata. We all know what metadata is with title tags, descriptions, alt tags, that kind of stuff. But this is kind of going that next step to really inform Google. What are your pages about? What is content about? You're trying to answer different queries that people are asking. I saw this work at my last company where someone was looking for, like, what are the best 10 ceiling fans of 2019? What are different designs that have come out? What are different technologies that have come out, whether it's LED or like a Bluetooth ceiling fan, things like that. And so I was able to mark up the content with structured data and then actually get into some of those voice searches. And I'm seeing a strong correlation there. It's not a perfect science, but there is a really good correlation there. And for a lot of the companies that I work with now, they're smaller business clients, but we're still trying to use that structured data to get into some of those voice searches. So for instance, right now, I've got a client in Florida that she's a real estate agent. So we're marking up her content with that real estate structured data. And so now if someone searches like Sarasota, show me results for Sarasota real estate agents over their voice search, over their device, we're looking to get her in those results.
Well, that's excellent. If you don't, again, I hope this isn't you giving up any proprietary information, but what do you use to create the structured data? What do you use, an app or?
So I mostly hand code whatever we're doing. I stick to the JSON data. That seems to be preferred by Google, so I'm sticking to that. But I really just look through schema.org, some of the instruction that they have there, abiding by the different rules, and then checking everything through the structured data testing tool from Google to make sure everything validates, looking at stuff in Google Search Console as well, just to make sure all the market validates.
Excellent. So that's interesting. It's certainly not novice activity. I've looked at the structured data coding and I go, okay, well, I'm not going to try this.
Yeah, it's definitely advanced. I will say there are a few plugins for WordPress users, but even at that, I've found that they're kind of tough to manage, and so it's honestly just easier to figure out how to write up the code, figure out the language, write up exactly what you're trying to do, and then you insert it into your pages.
Right on. There's a within the Gutenberg editor on WordPress, there's two blocks, elements you can insert, one for FAQs and one for lists.
Oh, nice.
And it structures, creates the structured data for you. You just have to fill in the blanks.
Very cool.
And for me, that is perfect.
Avoid all the code, just do the easy part. Right?
Exactly. So that's you know what, it's really great that people that we've been interviewing are fairly consistently mentioning structured data as a a must do. You can't ignore it, and especially for mobile search. So
right.
I'm glad you reinforced that. Anything else you can offer?
Yeah, I think just even taking a step back from structured data and voice search is just getting it right for mobile. There are several tools out there now to make sure that your mobile site is crawlable, it's responsive, it makes sense for your users. And still, I see a lot of clients that come across a lot of sites that they're just not doing that. And it's like we're headed into 2020. Everyone has a smartphone. Everyone's looking up content from their phone. Make sure that you tune your site to that. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of tools out there now. In addition to like making sure the content looks good, you want to make sure that it loads fast. Use Google's page speed insights to make sure the content is loading quickly. Just do not sleep on mobile. I can't tell people that enough. And it seems like the rankings are different. Google now has the mobile first index, but people still have kind of a sluggish mobile site and not the same experience. And it's just something that's going to continue to grow.
Great. That's great advice. Well, Jeff, that's, you know what, that's meat and potatoes. Great advice. And sometimes you can't stop emphasizing, what you got, you've tried it, you've learned it, you've proved it. You've got to do it, or you're just not going to get the rankings that you need or want.
Right. You've got to do it, and you have to keep continuing with it, because mobile sites, what we had for mobile sites in 2015 aren't what we have now, of course. So you have to keep advancing your technology, making things faster, and just don't sleep on it is all I can say.
Right on. Anything else you want to add?
I think just with strategies, what I've seen working for clients, of course, we talked a bit about the on-page piece there. Really, the off-page piece of growing links in 2019. This has become something that's difficult. A lot of people are still trying to go the guest post route. That's kind of tricky. One thing that I've found that actually works well for my business and for clients is using Help a Reporter Out. Excuse me. The acronym's HARO. This is something that a lot of people don't use, and it's such a great way to get your content in front of people in the right niche, get in front of some big publications. And it's a tool that it's really easy to sign up. It's actually free, and you're helping out journalists get more content, but then you're also getting a link back to your site from it. So it's been just a great tool that, like I said, a lot of people don't use it. And it's shocking to me that here's a way that you can get content in front of the right reader, in front of the right audience, and a lot of people don't use it.
Well, that's an original statement that you've just made. That's great information. I will confess that I have signed up for that.
Nice. Good.
But I have yet to get one request for information. So do you have any advice with respect to getting reporters to reach out to you?
So I think you can sign up with Hero. You can sign up for all the different industries that you want to try to get your content from or get a mention from. And I get those emails. I get an email in the morning, I get one in the afternoon, and one in the evening that just shows different blogs, different sources that are looking for content. And I will try in a given day, I'll probably reach out to at least 4 of those different sources. And sometimes I don't hear back, sometimes I do. It really depends. And really what it comes down to is you want to have a quick response, have the right answer for what they're looking for, and don't try to jumble it up with different tech speak or marketing speak. Just make it clear to understand.
Good advice. Okay. Well, that is great information. I'm going to revisit that site because obviously I did something wrong. Because if you're getting if you're getting that much traction, I should be getting 1 contact a week. But okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we also discussed earlier in our conversation mainstream tools that most agencies use. Are you using anything off the beaten path? Anything that you've found that works better for you?
I think aside from the mainstream tools that we've talked about, I know we mentioned Ahrefs, Moz, and SEMrush. Those are just every SEO is going to use those. Aside from that, it's really important for people to consider a crawling tool. There's basic tools like Screaming Frog. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. There's a new tool on the marketplace now called Jet Octopus that's also really really great for crawling sites. And then if you're operating an enterprise site, something in the e-commerce space or even like a university kind of site, you're going to want to use a tool like Botify. That's going to crawl a lot of pages. There's another tool called Deep Crawl, just something that's going to evaluate all of your content, look at it from a technical perspective, and then give you any sort of recommendations, things that you can fix and make better.
Great. So can we just step back a sec?
Yeah.
The Botify, can you spell that?
Botify. So Botify is the enterprise SEO tool used by a lot of agencies, a lot of bigger companies. I believe Wayfair is using them. I think Walmart uses them. Just a big company. It's Botify.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll use your website address from your profile on LinkedIn.
Sure.
And well, that's great. Thank you very much. That's that was a really clear, easy to understand interview. Good information, and refreshingly simple to internalize. Not too technical. We've had some very technical interviews, so thank you for that, Jeff Romero.
Awesome.
And I will send you a link to the article as soon as I publish it on the website. And I'll also send you notice of when we're going to be, like at the minute that I know we're publishing the article on USA Today. There's also it's a network. There's Yahoo News. There's a bunch of a list of sites that we publish it on, not just USA Today. People are most excited about the USA Today backlink, but there's other good backlinks that come along with it. So again, thank you. Have a great weekend. So you're in Sacramento.
In Sacramento, but I'm actually in Salt Lake City, Utah for the holiday. I'm out here